Hello FIFA fans, and welcome to this introduction episode for Season 2 of the Academy story. Now this is where we left off last time in the final episode. It was of course the 29th of June 2019. Now as you may know, of course I have now played a closed season. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into it and we're going to see what has changed in a year. Okay, so before we have a look at how the team's done and where we stand, what we're going to have a look at is how the players have changed. Okay, so not just how they changed in terms of the development, but also physically. And we'll have a look at how they did last season. So the season that, of course, was behind closed doors. Let's get straight into that then. So the way we're going to do this then, it's going to be done by the shirt number that player wears. So the first person we're going to look at is for Steel. Now this is for Steel on the last day of the last episode that we had a look at. So this is how he was, okay, a year ago. This is how he looked. These are his stats. He had an overall of 68, so he went up by 7. He had played 40 games, had a very good rating of 7.4, and his attributes, it won't show them all here because he's a goalkeeper, so we'll kind of flick through that. And his value was 1.4 million, okay, he was on a 4-year contract, so that is for Steel. Let's have a look at for Steel right now. So here he is, the South African for Steel, and this is exactly 1 year on from the stats we just saw. He is now a 73, so he's gone up by 5. He still has that potential to be special. Having a look at his appearances for the season, 35 appearances, 6.8 overall, and a 15 clean sheets there. Again, having a very quick look at his attributes because it doesn't make as much of a difference on this screen because you can't really see it on a goalkeeper. And an incredibly big change here. His contract length has gone down to 3 years, of course, because it's been another year. But look at that value. He is now worth 6.5 million. A very unreal, noticeable change with his hair. It's grown a little bit, but still the same for Steel that we all recognise. Moving on to the next player then. And of course, it's no other than Oscar. And this is kind of a fan favourite. Well, I think it is anyway. He's definitely a favourite of mine. Oscar, a fantastic player. And this is him last year. He finished his season with an overall of 70. He went through +7 throughout the entire season. He played 46 appearances, which what we know was he had the most appearances in the entire team, a 7.6 average, which was fantastic. Having a look at his attributes then, and we can see here that he had a phenomenal growth, really. We can see the 10 balance, that was added, of course, from the token. But the big one that stood out was the ball control at +15. But everything, his long passing, his dribbling, everything kind of jumped through. He did get a lot of training, of course, because we made that transition from left back to left midfielder. But yeah, Oscar, a fantastic player. His contract was 4 years and he was worth £3.5 million. Let's have a little look at Oscar now. And here he is a year on and he is looking fantastic. He's got a +5. Still has the potential to be special. We can see the noticeable thing there is he's wearing his hair a little bit differently now. It's not in a ponytail, still long, but he's wearing it down. So yeah, you know, personal preference. I think he looks cool. He's played 42 appearances this season, and that's a lot. Again, a lot of appearances from him. He's a very solid player. Very rarely gets injured. A 6.9 rating, of course, because of all the simming guys. The ratings will be a lot lower because I haven't played every game. Otherwise, I'd never release the second season. His physical stats are growing very nicely, and again we can see that ball control is just getting better and better. That crossing, phenomenal, gone up by 11. His finishing has gone up by 11. Short passing, he really is just turning into a fantastic player. Look at those long shots, 82 long shots, and he's also got 84 standing tackle because of course originally he was a left back. So he's going to be immense. With the formation we play, guys, you know that we are quite vulnerable down the flanks, and with that kind of defending, it means that he's going to be awesome going forward, but also awesome coming back. And another huge jump here. The value, he is now worth £12.5 million. Ridiculous. So yeah, Oscar is doing fantastic. Next up then we have the man from Greece, and that is Calais, of course, the centre back. And this is how he looked a year ago. So he went up by 10 in the season, which was fantastic. Of course, again, that was down to a lot of training because he was, I think, either a left back or a right back, and we wanted to change that position. An exciting prospect, so a little bit behind the others, but that's fine. He played 34 games last season, had an average rating of 7.8, which is absolutely mint. We can see his stats here. And again, he's a very, very solid defender. Pretty good physical stats. The agility balance will let him down, but you know, nothing to worry you really with the defender. And having a look here, heading accuracy, not bad at all. Slide tackle, standing tackle, the kind of stats you want to see really. And you know, at the age of 18 there, you know he's just going to get better and better. He was worth 3.9 million and was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look how Calais looks a year on. Here he is then, 1 year on, and he is a 75. He's gone up by 4, so not loads, but still not bad at all. The problem is, with these guys now, we don't want to keep flying and flying, because otherwise, you know, it can cause problems. We don't want to start losing. We don't want all the big teams to come in just yet and try and nick them all. But we can see a very small change to him in terms of his physical appearance. It's just he's wearing his hair a little bit differently. Nothing too, you know, drastic, but it's been a year, and you know, we all change in a year. He's just changed his hair a little bit. He played 27 appearances and he had an over rating of 7. So again, just a pretty solid season. Having a look at the stats now, and of course nothing's changed in relation to the skill moves and weak foot, because we're not using tokens when it's behind closed doors. But looking at the stats, his sprint speed's gone up very nicely. Quite little change really with the physical stats. What the big one is here is we can see that short pass. That's gone up by 11, so he's got 80 short passing, which is fantastic for your defender. Again, because of the formation we play, that's nice to have confidence in the back three. If they can pass, it means that, yeah, we're less likely to give the ball away. So a very nice change there. And looking at his value, and this is just becoming ridiculous because everyone is worth so much. And he's worth 11.5 million on a 3-year contract. So very nice there. Let's have a look who's up next. Here he is, the French legend Olivier Hubert. And this guy, he was crucial last season. Was scoring that penalty that obviously got us through in the Checkered Trade Trophy. And he's always in the right place at the right time. And he grew a little bit slower. He's been growing a little bit slower than everyone else in terms of centre back. So he hasn't played as much. Well, he didn't play as much, of course. 29 appearances, still very good. And of course, this is season before last, the season that we aired. As an average of 7.7 rating, so fantastic rating really. That's what I mean, he made the difference when he came on, and surprisingly actually, he played a lot more than I thought he did. So having a quick look at Hubert's stats a year ago, we can see of course he had the +5, he had that acceleration, we added that on for his second token of course, but we can see solid growth kind of throughout really. He, again, like I say, lagging behind really in terms of the development with the other defenders, but it doesn't matter because he's there in the right place at the right time. He is worth 1.1 million and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look how Uber looks 1 year on. And here he is looking very different, if I don't say so. He is a overall 70 now. He's gone up by 6, has potential to be special, so fantastic there. We can look at the appearance side. He's got rid of his locks. He's shaved them off. He's going for a bit more of a bad boy look here, and he's grown some facial hair out. He doesn't look like the kind of player that I would really want to mess with. A bit of a beast, to be honest. So looking at the stats then for this season, and he's played 35 games. So he played a few more games this season than he did, of course, the season before that we aired. An average rating of 6.9. Looking at his stats, and the physical stats are coming on quite nicely. Again, not huge amounts of change there. But what's really nice here, again, is this short passing. I don't know what it is with the defenders, but the short passing has gone right up again, 75. So I'm really hoping that this is just going to add consistency really with, like I said, with Calais, just passing it along the back three into the midfield. So he's worth £3.1 million now, and he's still on a 3-year contract. But very nice growth from Hubert, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the coming season. So up next we have the man Zacharya Montenegro. And of course, he's from Chile. He came kind of a little bit later on into the season, and he started off quite slow, to be honest. I thought he would be going places, and then he actually turned out he wasn't as impressive as I kind of anticipated. And we can kind of see that really. This is the season we had him. He only went up to 61. It is a 6 growth, but I mean, there wasn't really anything standing out. An exciting prospect. He played 23 games. He had a very good average rating of 7.6, which is fantastic. So maybe I was a little bit harsh on the guy, especially for a 16-year-old, of course. We can have a look at the stats. This is how they were and how they developed. So he did grow a lot. He grew a hell of a lot in that first season that, of course, we showed. He was worth 575,000, so he wasn't really worth a lot. He was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look how Montenegro looks 1 year on. And here he is, a very, very impressive development for Montenegro. He has gone up by 8 in a year, okay? Not too much of a change with his appearance. He's got rid of the facial hair. He's grown his hair out a little bit. But he's not mucking around these days. He's played 17 games, so he hasn't actually played a lot of games, but again, I think the games he does play, he's done really well in it. Not a bad average rating, 6.6. Looking at his attributes then, again, not too much of a change in the physical development. I think we're going to know that because this is why, we have Frank anyway, because the youth system, the physical stats, they don't grow as quick as you'd like. The technical ones we can see here, they're always the ones that kind of go a lot quicker. Plus 14 on ball control, that's absolutely immense. His dribbling's only 74, short passing 12, marking, everything's going up. And remember that Montenegro, of course, was a right back, and we changed it to right midfield. So again, much like Oscar, he can develop probably into a very defensive-minded right midfielder, but of course with that kind of ball control and whatnot, going forward, he can be absolutely immense. He's worth a lot more than he was in a year ago. He's now worth 2 million. He's still on a 3-year contract now at the age of 17, but yeah, very nice for Montenegro. Let's see who's up next. So here we had the lad from Saudi Arabia then, Bashir Al-Dassari, and what a fantastic player. We got him, of course, later on into the season, but it was awesome when we got him because we know how fantastic he was. Like, with those physical stats that he has, he just shone, and we can see it there. He played 17 games. He got an 8 overall. He was fantastic. Having a very quick look at his stats, we can see they're the physical stats that jumped out when we got him. Absolutely immense. His technical stats were kind of lagging behind, but that didn't really matter. We wanted him for his pace. At the end of the season, he had developed a +3 overall, and he was worth 1.1 million. Let's have a look at Al-Dassari 1 year on, and here he is. He's gone up by +5, so he is a 71 overall, which isn't bad at all. We can see not too much of a drastic change in his appearance. His hair's slightly different, and he's got a little bit of facial hair. Nothing drastic there. He's played 34 games, and he's got an average rating of 6.9. Having a look at his stats then, and his physical stats just carry on growing. I was just saying about the physical stats not changing too much. Well, this guy is a freak. He's a freaking athlete. 84 acceleration. He's got 95 sprint speed, 92 jumping. He is immense, and I can't wait to use him this season. His technical stats are really catching up as well. I mean, the ball control, short passing, fantastic. Slide tackle and stand tackle are good as well. Marking, not so great. But you know what? He's so rapid, it doesn't really matter. He can just Usain Bolt it and just run after the player if he's not exactly where he should be. He's now worth 4.3 million, and he's on a 4-year contract. I think, was he on a 4-year? He is worth 4.3 million, and he's on a 4-year contract. 4.3, not so bad at all. So next up, pretty much my favourite player in last season was Luis Gonzalo. He got Golden Boot, as we know, and was absolutely fantastic from day one, I think. He's played 37 games, an average rating of 8 overall, and he had a +8, of course. Having a look at the stats, we can see that, I mean, his physical stats there from last season, there was good progress. His technical stats went up loads and loads. We did do some Derek training with him. Of course, he started the training to be a striker, but in the end, we used a token on that, and we gave him the finesse shot. He was worth 8.5 million last year. Okay, so that's how much he was worth at the end of last season that we aired. It's been a year. Let's have a look how Luis Gonzalo is now. And here he is. He is a 79 overall. He has gone up by 7 in that year. He looks slightly different as well. He's got some nice pink boots on. Very, very cool. And the most noticeable is that he's got hair. From day one, he had absolutely no hair. But we're going to just guess he did it for a dare. You know, he bicked his head for a dare. I don't know. But over the last year, 2 years, it's now grown. So, yeah, he's looking cool. You know, let's have a look at his stats. So, over the last year, he's played a lot of games, 38 appearances, 7.2 overall average. So, again, another fantastic season for him. Having a look at his stats then, and his physical development has been pretty good. Pretty good, to be honest. 87 sprint speed there, but everything has grown a little bit. And his technical stats, and this has just kind of blown my mind, to be honest. I had a little look before I started in the video. I was like, oh, you know, where's who? And I was like, wow, 94 finishing. 94 finishing at the age of 20. That is absolutely insane. 86 dribbling and 81 ball control. Heading accuracy at 13, short pass 8, 89 +8 there. He's basically just hero. Absolute legend. Love Gonzalo, and I cannot wait to use him in the coming season. And coming to the final screen then, and look at that. He is worth £24.5 million. He's gone up 188%. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep hold of him, guys, this season. It's crazy. He's on a 3-year contract. We haven't sat down with him. I'll be honest, I didn't want to sit down with him until the actual series begins the next season, because I thought we'd do that together, because there is a chance maybe that he won't want to stay. And I thought we can go through that together. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, Gonzalo, fantastic player. Another fantastic season. Cannot wait to use him in the upcoming season. Up next, we got a player that, a bit of an up and down season, to be honest, Oscar Rose. Our captain, he had a lot of injuries, didn't he? And this is how we looked at the end of the season. He was a 71, so he had a +5. I think we all know that he probably could have had a better season, but it was that injury kind of situation that hampered him. And you can see it from the appearances. 29, he got 7.5 average rating, which is fantastic, but he would have been playing a lot more games, that's for sure. Having a look at his stats and how they finished, and of course we know why his physical stats are so high there, because we use Frank. Frank was a person, Frank trained Rose, of course, so that's why there's such good physical development. His technical stats, they did increase a lot as well. His ball control, we used a token on that to bring that up, I think. But everything else, not so bad. He's got very good long passing. You can't see it there, but his free kick accuracy is really good as well. He was worth 7.5 million at the end of last season. On a 4-year contract. So let's have a look how Rose now looks a year on. So here he is then. He's gone up a +5. And looking at his physical appearance, his hair's changed slightly. He's got a bit of style to it now. He's a little bit, a bit modest before. He wasn't that bothered, but he's thought, what, I might as well make an effort. I'm in front of all these people. As we're going through the leagues, he's like, I'm going to get more TV coverage. I want to look all right, That's what I reckon anyway. So 76 overall, fantastic. He played 35 games, so more games than last season, 6.8 average rating, which isn't bad at all. Having a look at his stats then, and he's got some nice physical development anyway, because, of course, like I said, Frank trained him last season. But still, kind of adding on to that, the acceleration is good, sprint speed 75. That's not bad at all, really. That's only going to get better and better. At the age of 20, I mean, he's one of the older ones in the squad, but still, I reckon he's going to have good development throughout the next season. Massive changes here. Crossing, +10. That's ridiculous. I mean, we know Rose can cross the ball, because I think it was the last game we played. He put 2 worldy crosses in. So next season, we're going to remember that. Every single time he's out on that wing, bang, we're going to be banging him in, because we know that he's going to be finding Hendricks, Gonzalo, or whoever else is in the box. The other big one, like I said, he's got good free kick accuracy. I think on the screen, I didn't see that for some reason, but yeah, it is there. So 84 free kick accuracy, that's fantastic. That's going to come in very handy. He's got great long passing, great long shots, great curve. I mean, I love Rose. He's awesome. And that's why from day one we made him captain, because he stood out as being someone that could really develop all around very early on. And he's kind of proven that. We can see now that he's gone up 100%. He's worth 15 million. Happy days. On the 3-year contract. Again, another player I don't think we sat down with, because I'm just worried with these players that are worth a lot. That it's going to end up kind of kicking us a little bit, because they're going to say, nah, not interested. And then they're only going to sign a 1-year deal. And then we are really not in a good place. So here we have the man from the Netherlands then, and that's Bram Hendricks. And of course we know the season that we aired last season was fantastic for him. He had a +15, which is absolutely insane. He played 45 games, which is a lot. He had a 7.7 rating, so fantastic. He was brilliant. Looking at his stats then, the physical stats didn't change too much. His attacking position went up a lot, and that's, to be honest, all these technical changes was because we smashed it, didn't we, with Derek. Derek trained him a lot. He also trained to be a striker, so there was a lot of training that went in, so we can see that's the reason why there's such big changes. But I mean, his finishing, it was only 72. It was 23 less than that, so it's kind of ridiculous how bad he really was before Derek trained him and before he had all those training sessions to become a striker. But yeah, he had a fantastic season last season, we know that. He was worth 4.8 million and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look at how Hendricks looks 1 year on. And here he is then, he is now a 76. He's gone up by 6. Looking at his appearance then, he hasn't changed too much. I think a change of boots and his hair's slightly longer, but he's still the same old Hendricks. He played a total of 37 games and had an average rating of 6.9, so very nice indeed. Looking at his stats then, and we can see that the physical development, like a lot of them, hasn't gone up too much. His aggression, I didn't realise this in the last one, but 86, happy days to that. Some very nice changes here, and considering there's been no training done. I've done no training with him. I had done training with other players, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I did any training with Hendricks. I haven't done any Derek training with anyone, just normal training sessions that, the ones that are just normal. I did it in between simming a lot of the games. But very nice growth. Heading accuracy, 78. I know we used a token last season, but still, that's really good. Ball control, 68. Finishing, 78. Not bad. His long shots, very nice indeed. And his shot power are fantastic. So hopefully, next season, the season coming, Hendricks is going to do fantastic. And on the last page then, and no surprises, he's worth a lot of money as well. 14.5 million is his valuation on a 3-year contract. And I'm just really hoping that the first episode, it's not just going to be bang, 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 transfer offer. They come into the office saying, I want to leave, let me go. Because, yeah, it would be good, but worth a lot of money. So here we have the lad from Bolivia then. That's Benjamin Fuentes. And Fuentes was someone that, I think when I originally got him, I thought, oh, yeah, he's going to be really good. Played him a couple of games and thought, oh, nah, he's lagging behind. He's not as good as the rest. I mean, we still played him a lot of games. We played him in 37 games. He had a fantastic rating. But I think I can just be quite critical. You know when you're playing, and sometimes you're like, oh, this player feels mint. And then you kind of forget about other players and you're like, oh, I guess they're all right. That's kind of how it was. It was only near the end of the season I started to realise, I was like, this guy's freaking awesome. And we can see, look at these stats. And I've already said it, like I've already talked about some of their stats anyway in the previous episode for last season. But his stats, he developed so much. And his physical stats surprised me. His technical stats were mint, his crossing was mint, ball control mint, everything was good. And I did say at the end of last season that I had a feeling that Fuentes is just going to keep on growing and he's going to be the player that kind of takes me by surprise and probably by the team by surprise. He could end up being the best player or one of the best players in a very short amount of time. Having a look at how he ended up on being a value of 12 million. So that's how much he was worth, guys, at the end of last season. 4-year contract length. Let's have a look now at Fuentes. 1 year on, 1 season down. And here he is, A+6. He is a 79 overall. So looking at his appearance then, and we can see that his hair's changed slightly longer, and he's got some very awesome red boots on, like them a lot. And let's have a look at his stats. Well, he's played 36 games and he's got an average rating of 6.6. The big one here is, of course, going to be this. Acceleration 90. 90 acceleration. He's only got 79 sprint speed. But, I mean, those physical stats are just awesome. For a right wing, that's what you want. You want to have that decent acceleration, and he's got that. But what I think is going to surprise you and me, because I haven't looked at these in a lot of detail, but is the technical. And this is why. I mean, look, 87 ball control, 96 crossing. I mean, I was astonished at Rose. I was like, oh, yeah, Rose at a 90. 96. This is crazy. That means that, like, 96% of the time, when this guy crosses the ball, it should freaking land at someone's head. And we're going to test that. We're going to be testing. We're going to be throwing those balls in to Hendricks and, like I said, Gonzalo. Dribbling 85, short passing, fantastic. Long shots 87. I think we're going to have a team of just long shooters. You know what I mean? Everyone's just going to be shooting from like 35 yards, hoping for that worldy goal. But fantastic. A huge change here. He's still on the 3-year contract. He is worth £23.5 million. So yeah, it's going to be interesting going into next season. How much that even changed again. So up next we have the lad from Ireland, and that is Patrick Walsh. And again, he was one of the players we got in later on, giving us the goalkeeper cover. And this is how he looked. The appearances, he played 13, he had a very good average rating of 7.5. His stats, again, we can't really see it with the goalkeeper. I don't know why they don't show it, but whatever. I mean, we know you can kind of get more of a feeling for it with a rating with the goalkeeper. He was worth 1.4 million and he had a 3-year contract. Let's have a look 1 year on how Patrick Walsh did last season. And here he is then. So over the last year and over the last season, he has grown by another 5. He's at 73. Pretty much no change with him in terms of appearance. His hair's changed slightly, but still kind of shaggy hair. Yeah, no real change there. He has got 29 appearances and he's got an average rating of 6.7%. Again, we can't see the goalkeeper stats there. But the good way to judge it is that he's now worth 6.5 million. We did sit down with Walsh and we got him to commit to a 5-year contract. We had to pay out he's got a 4k wage. But we wanted to lock him down because I thought, wow, 6.5 million. We don't want people coming in to try and nick for steal and Walsh. So yeah, that's kind of reassuring, really. We should be able to keep hold of him for a long time. So here we have the cheeky lad from Peru, Raymond Bello. And again, he came in partway through the season. He was in the academy from the start, but of course he was only 15, so we had to wait quite some time to get him. And at the end of last season, he went up by 5 to 61. He only played 12 games, but he had an average rating of 7, so very good. And to be honest, Bello, he did feel fantastic on the ball. I really do like playing with him. His stats, his physical stats kind of surprised me when I first saw them. At the end of last season, I thought, well, like this, you think, well, there's nothing really that stands out. He's not very quick. He's not that great. His technical stats even, you think, well, there's nothing really there. I mean, he's not bad. Free kick, accuracy and curve, long shot. They're okay, but there's nothing really that you think, wow, he's not really a very solid midfielder. So he definitely felt better than he was last season. He was only worth 465,000. That pretty much kind of shows really in terms of the stats. We had him on a 3-year contract. Let's have a look 1 year on and a season on how Bello now looks. And here he is. Now this is immense. He has gone up by 10 in one season. And this, I only trained him a few times. I think I trained him 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 times throughout the season. Just like I said in the normal training sessions. But yeah, he's gone up loads. He played 33 games, an average rating of 6.7%. Let's have a look at the stats increase. Again, the physical stats, nothing really, nothing great, still very average. But the technical stats are insane. He has grown so much, and the ball control 14, dribbling 18, finishing 13. Give him another year, maybe a couple more years, and I reckon Bello will be awesome. And someone said a while ago, but the next Kante, I would quite like him to be, that kind of rock in midfield that just kind of has it all. He's now worth 4.1 million, so he's gone up a lot. And he was another player we sat down with, and we got him on a 5-year contract. That's because the guys that we signed midway through, they only signed a 2-year deal for some reason, straight out of the academy. I think it was a 2, maybe a 3-year deal, and I wanted to make sure that we locked him down before they got really awesome. So yeah, we got him on a 5-year deal. Happy days to that. So up next, we got the guy from Uruguay, and that's Marcio Sandoval. And Marcio, I put on the pool, like, should we sell him? And I mean, I think because every single time I was playing, he just never stood out. I never even noticed he was really playing. The only time I noticed is I don't know, maybe it was just again me being critical, but he took heavy touches and things. I thought, oh, he's not very good. He's got injured, he broke an ankle at the end of last season. And he went up by 3, so not so bad. He played 18 games, a good average rating to be honest. His stats, he got very good physical stats to be honest. So maybe I'm just being way too critical. His technical stats, 84 ball control, I mean they're good. They're really good, so maybe it was just a bad season he had. He was worth 650,000 and he was on a 2-year contract. So let's have a look a year on and a season on if Sandoval has managed to turn things around. So here he is then, and he's gone up by 5. Okay, so that's not too bad at all. He's changed slightly. He's I think he's wearing different boots. His hair's slightly longer as well, just wearing it differently. He's only played 13 games, so not a great deal. An average of 6.9. Looking at his stats, and again the physical, I mean they were good before. He's gone up by 4 acceleration, but nothing really standing out there. And then looking at this then, I mean there is some nice changes with his ball control and dribbling for sure. Finishing has gone up, long passing, long shots. I mean it's all good. It is all good, and I mean he has a 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill move, so he is really good. Maybe we're gonna have to give him a go. Let me know what you guys think anyway. So going into next season, and of course we're gonna go. It's day 1 when we go, and it's going to be the transfer window opening. So we can do whatever. He's the only player that I haven't played with him. I mean, I played him a couple of times in the season, but like I said, most of the games were simmed. But let me know what you guys think. Should we sell him? Should we keep him? Should we give him a chance? I don't know. What do you think? So his value is 1.5 million, and his contract length is actually only 1 year. And the reason is because when I was actually going through to renew contracts and stuff, I didn't know whether or not we were going to keep him. I didn't know what the plan was, so I thought let's not sit down with him until you guys let me know what you think, until we come to a decision, and we either lock him down and keep him, or we send him on his way. So here we have another one of the players that came partway through the season, and that's Vicente, not Vincent, Vicente Luna, the Mexican. And this guy, like I said, he's a beast, and he's awesome. He is really good to play with, and I think the main reason is because of his physical stats. Last season he played 12 games. He got 7.4 rating, which is really good considering how little he played. But this is the reason why he was such a beast, because the size of him was massive, but he's got such good physical stats that he could move around the pitch. 87 sprint speed, 82 acceleration, agility. I mean, he was awesome. His technical stats, they were okay, not too bad at all. But a lot of development. I mean, it's crazy. He got 77 finishing. I didn't even realise that going through last season. He's 77 finishing. And someone said like the next Ronaldinho, I think, like he could be immense. He really could be. I think the dribbling and ball control needs to come up a little bit, but we know he can hit the ball. He was worth 675,000 at the end of last season on a 3-year contract. Let's have a look 1 year on how Luna is now. And here he is then. So awesome. He's changed slightly. He's got different boots on, and he's grown his hair a little bit. He's got a band on, looking a little bit more like Ronaldinho maybe. I don't know. But yeah, +9. Awesome that. He played 25 games, so a lot more games than last season. 6.8 average rating. Let's have a look at these stats. And this is freaking amazing. Look at these stats. He's got +3 to acceleration, +8 to agility, +1 balance, +4 jumping, 14 stamina. Now, I did train him. I think I trained Luna 5 times throughout the season. But again, like nothing with Derek, you know, just normal training sessions. And I think that's why the stamina has gone up a little bit. But look at this. I mean, this is freaking amazing. A lot of yellow there. But let's just have a look at the green, because the green, they stand out, right? Ball control, 88. Wow, okay, the guy can control a ball. That's good. Dribbling, 81. It's gone up by 21, which is insane. It'd be nice if it went up a little bit more, but still, that's not bad. But look at that finishing. He's a freaking centre midfielder. And his finishing is 94. I don't know what you guys think, but do you think he's wasted? Do you think he's wasted as a centre midfielder? Of course, we don't have a centre attacking midfield role. He can't play as a striker, because that would be 2 jumps. But we could play him as a centre forward. We can play him as a left midfielder, a right midfielder. I don't know. What do you guys think? He's just a bit of a conundrum, because, yeah, he just seems, that kind of finishing just seems wasted as a midfielder. But let me know. Look at the long shots, 96 long shots. So maybe as a midfielder he's fine, because you can just bang him in from wherever. He's now worth 4.8 million, and again, he's another player that we locked down straight away. As soon as I looked at those stats, I was like, straight to the contract window. We're going to sit down with you, buddy. Tell me what you want. We'll give it to you. And yeah, he had no dramas. This is what's good about the guys that were on such a small contract. They were absolutely sound. They're like, yeah, we're signing your contract. So that's good. We got Luna, and I can't wait to play with him in the upcoming season. So now we're going to be looking at Joseph Torres. Of course, he came in later on into the season with his brother, and these guys had, yeah, a lot of potential, according to Simon, the next best thing, you know, the next Ronaldo or so. So hopefully over the next coming years we're going to see a lot of progress. He only played 13 games, an average rating of 8.1. That's freaking awesome, considering he only played 13 games. His stats then, nothing special, we know that. But look at the development though. Still, there's a lot of development there at the end of last season. He went up by 5. So he went from 60 to, he went from 55 to 60 last season in a very short amount of time. He was on a 5-year contract, and he was worth 220,000. So yeah, you know, nothing special there. So let's have a look how Joseph Torres looks a year on. And here he is then, and another one, 9. He's grown 9. And yeah, that's awesome. Looking at his appearance then, he hasn't changed, well, I say too much. His hair has grown out a lot more. So yeah, he's got very long hair now. But that should kind of make him a little bit even easier to tell against his brother. Well, depending how his brother looks. He played 45 games, 6.6 overall, so he played a lot of games, which I'm guessing is why the overall's gone up so much. Looking at his stats then, we can see there's nice steady development in the physical stats there going up. Nothing, you know, he's still not going to be that 63 sprint speed. He's still not going to be doing anything major, but let's have a look at this part. And, you know, the technical, this makes a big difference. Still, again, he's got a lot of potential. He's only 18, as is his brother. And I reckon 2-3 years, these guys are going to be immense. We know the power free kick, flair, long shot taker from the start. They've had those. Well, he's had that one. Sorry, his brother's got different ones. But yeah, there's a lot of potential there for Joseph Torres. A nice steady season for him. So yeah, looking forward to the upcoming season. He's worth 2.4 million now, and we've got him on we haven't changed his contract. It's just run down by another year. So yeah, very nice season for Joseph Torres, and like I say, I'm looking forward to using him and his brother in the upcoming season. So here we have the Australian Edwards then, and Edwards finished up last season with a +6, and again he had a few injury dramas, but he still played a lot of games. He played 35 games, average of 7.5, so very good indeed. His stats. His acceleration and sprint speed did let him down, but of course we added both tokens to those to bump them up. His technical stats very good, you know, good crossing, fairly decent short passing, not bad free kick accuracy at all, and curve. He was worth 1.5 million, and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look a season on how Edwards looks now. And here he is. He's now a 71. He's gone up by 5, which is very nice. And what's quite noticeable is those boots. He's got pretty awesome purple boots on now. I like them a lot. He's also, his hair's just growing a little bit, nothing, you know, again, too drastic, it's just grown out a little bit more. He played 30 games and he had an average rating of 7.1, so very good indeed. His attributes, his physical has gone up a lot, which is good. I mean, his sprint speed and acceleration have gone up very well, so 75 and 78, which I'm sure we're going to notice. His technical stats are coming along very nicely as well. Fantastic long passing, short passing, not bad at all. good crossing, good, relatively good ball control. The only thing that's quite disappointing is dribbling. We might have to get Derek to have a bit of a work with him, or maybe the tokens come next January or so. But yeah, not bad really. He's now worth 4.5 million and still on a 3-year contract, so not too bad for Edwards at all. And I do like the Australian. So here we are looking at the man from America, Frank Smith, and this is I love playing with Frank Smith. He is awesome on the ball. He's just one of those players that when he gets in midfield, you know, you can turn, you can move around, and you know you're not going to lose the ball straight away. He had a +5 from last season. He played 40 games, an average rating of 7.7, which was absolutely awesome. I remember looking at his stats and thinking, oh, he's not as good as he feels. And yeah, we went over these kind of stats really. Again, nothing that's bad or anything, but he feels a lot better than what it is there. He was worth 1.9 million and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look 1 year on how Mr. Smith looks now. And here he is then. So not much of a change in terms of physical appearance. His hair's slightly different. Just wearing it a little bit differently. But yeah, and he's +6, which is very nice indeed. Let's have a look. And he's played 41 games, overall 6.5. So he's played a lot of games. He's solid. And he very rarely gets injured and things. Not too bad growth there in terms of physical. His sprint speed's gone up by 5, very nice indeed. Not bad stamina as well. His technical stats have grown very nicely as well. Short passing 12, that's what you want from your midfielder. That is what you want. Good slide tackle, which is fantastic. Good stand tackle, and this is what we want. I mean, he's a centre defensive midfielder, and that's his role. We added strength last year with the token. He's got good ball control, so he really is turning into a very, very well-rounded midfielder, and that's only going to get better. He's now worth 9.5 million on the 3-year contract, and I really am looking forward to using this guy as well. So here we have the man, the future Messi, Abbas, and Abbas had a fantastic season last season. He had a +7. And so when it's 74, he played 40 games and he had an 8. And yeah, we know he had an awesome season. Looking at his stats, he's always had good physical stats. We of course increased that agility up to 80. We used his token. The technical stats, yeah, good ball control, good dribbling, finishing. Nothing stand out as being amazing, but just everything was not so bad at all. And he had this trait from beginning back into play, which is good. He was worth 11 million at the end of last season on a 4-year contract, so that's a lot of money. Let's have a look, a season on, 1 year on, how this little legend Egyptian looks. And here he is. So he's only gone up by 4, and I say only, that's still not bad at all. He's 78. Looking at how he's changed, he's wearing different boots, and his hair, I was a little bit reluctant because I was like, oh, will people like it? I tried changing it once, but I didn't like it, when it changed the first time. But this one, Messi went through a little bit of a stage when he had his hair long, and I think this suits the guy, He played a total of 36 games and an average rating of 7.3, which is fantastic. So very nice in terms of physical development. Then 86 acceleration and sprint speed, good agility, good balance, not so good stamina, but that's all right. But the technical, this is absolutely awesome. Ball control, it's only 81, crossing 93, dribbling 93. That's the big one. A 79 finishing, which is awesome. Even his free kicks coming along, but long pass, short pass, it's all good. He's good. I love Abbas, and he's always felt fantastic to play with. So, yeah, coming into the new season, I'm sure he's just going to feel better. Yeah. He's now worth 19.5 million on a 3-year contract. So worth, a lot of money. And I'm sure there's going to be offers coming in for Abbas, but we ain't letting him go. So next up, we had the other brother then, Zacharya Torres Nilo. And he, again, coming in later with his brother. Overall 60, he went up in last season. He only played 13 games, a 7.5 average rating, which is fantastic. Looking at his stats then, again, just like his brother, nothing standing out as being fantastic. Got the finesse shot and long shot taker, which was good. And he was only worth 210,000, so not a lot. Let's have a look a year on how he looks. And here he is, and some fantastic growth there. He's gone up by +8. He hasn't changed too much in terms of his appearance. His hair's slightly longer at the back there. Still got the kind of the rose though, and he's got different boots on as well. He's played 42 games and 6.9 average rating, so a lot of games for Torres Nilo. Looking at his development then, in terms of physical, again, nothing jumps out as being a lot there. Technical development, very nice indeed. A lot better ball control. Also his short passing, his finishing has gone up to 55. That's +12, believe it or not. Long shots is at 17, but he's got the trait long shot taker, which is, it's ideal anyway, so hopefully that's going to help him out. He is now worth 2 million and he's on a 4-year contract. So yeah, still a lot of development for Torres Nilo, but like his brother as well, I'm sure those two are going to develop greatly over the coming seasons. So up next, Jose Henriquez, of course, from Portugal. And a bit of a difficult one with him, because when he comes on and plays, you can either play worldy or you don't really notice him. He had a +10 at the end of last season, which was fantastic. And he played 31 games, so he did play a lot of games, an average of 7.3. His stats, yeah, they're good. You know, he's got fantastic ball control, good dribbling. I don't know what it was. His reactions just felt a little bit off. You know, he just thought, I mean, his reaction's 56, maybe that is it. But sometimes he felt like the defenders would just get into him way too quick and he'd lose the ball. But still, you know, he had flashes of being absolutely brilliant. He was worth 500,000 and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look, a season on, how the Portuguese lad's looking. And here he is, massive development for him. He has gone up by 9. He's got slight change in his physical appearance. His facial hair has changed and also his hair has a little bit as well. He's only played 9 games, which is insane. How he's only played 9 games and gone up by that. I did train him a few times, to be fair, but still, that's crazy. The physical stats, you know, nice changes there, to be honest. 7 interceptions, +4 on balance. The physical stats, immense. And sorry, the technical stats, and this is just amazing. 96 ball control, 85 dribbling, 87 free kick accuracy, 89 long passing. This guy, I mean, I said, like last season when I was playing him a lot, he just felt like a bit of a bit part player, you know, flashes. I reckon the coming season, guys, he is going to be absolutely awesome, and we're definitely going to be giving him the chances. He's now worth 3.2 million and he's on a 3-year contract, so still not worth loads and loads. But those stats are immense. So here we've got Arnie Jacobs then, and he had a +7 overall last season. He had that massive injury when he was out for 7 months, and he still had 2 months left. So going into the next season, he's still out for 2 months, which was very disappointing because he was absolutely flying. He played 34 games though, which is still a lot considering he was out for so long. An average of 7.5. Looking at his stats, you know, nothing again stands out as being amazing in terms of his physical. His technical there, they were coming along so well. Again, I mean, they're not fantastic, but he was young, you know, 17 years old there at the end of the first season. Yeah, he was developing really well, and I really hope that he's gonna do us well. He was worth 1.4 million and he was on a 4-year contract. So let's see 1 year on how Arnie Jacobs is now doing. And here he is, and he has gone up by 7 again. And looking at his appearance, he's changed slightly. His hair's changed. He's gone, you know, a little bit more fashionable. He's a young lad. And yeah, he's changed his hair just to maybe be a bit cooler. I don't know. He's played 33 games and he's got an average rating of 6.8. So considering he was out the first couple of months, that's not bad. His physical development, again, nothing jumps out. But his technical development, very nice indeed. Awesome finishing. Great ball control changes there. Great dribbling. Overall, he's growing very, very nicely. He's now worth 4.7 million on a 3-year contract. So it's going to be interesting how he now feels on the ball going into the new season. So here we have Abilio Cordoba. Again, he came in later on into the season, but he had a fantastic season, +8. He played only 13 games, 7.6 average rating. His stats, not so bad in terms of physical, not very good in terms of technical at all. And he was only worth 750,000 on a 2-year contract. Let's have a look 1 season on how he's looking now. So he's now sitting at a very solid 68, a +5. The noticeable difference here is his hair. He's now just put it into cornrows instead of being all fluffy, shall I say, afro-y kind of thing. He's played 26 games and an average rating of 6.7%. Like most of the other players, there's nothing standing out as massive development in terms of the physical changes there. The technical changes, a lot better than they were. He's still got a lot of work to go. His marking's not bad now. Standing tackles, good. Short passing, they're all getting better. But yeah, still quite a fair way to go, I'd say. He's worth 1.6 million, and of course we have signed him now. We've locked him into a 5-year contract. So here we have Guzman then, and Guzman at the end of last season, I mean, when we first got him from the youth academy, I thought, oh, he's just going to be bagging goals left, right, centre. It didn't feel as good as I thought. He still had a pretty good season. He developed by 8. He only played 16 games, had an average rating of 7.3. He had very good physical stats, and that's what kind of stood out. His technical stats let him down a bit, but I mean, he progressed a lot, considering we did use Derek with him, and we used quite a lot of training. He's still got a long way to go, but he progressed pretty well. He was worth 675,000 on a 2-year contract. Let's have a look 1 year on how he's looking. So here he is then, and he has +8, so he's now 70 overall. His appearance has changed slightly, different boots, and he's kind of got shorter hair now and going for a short back and sides by the looks of it. He has played only 11 games, but he's played fantastic in those games, which is good. His stats, I mean, look at those physical stats. They are awesome again. 87 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, 81 agility, and I am looking forward to now using him. Let's have a look at the technical. And the technical, I mean, he's still got a long way to go in terms of things like ball control. His dribbling 74, you know, not bad finishing. I think Derek's going to have to be working with him a lot because those physical stats are fantastic. Derek works with Guzman a fair amount, and we use other training sessions as well. He can progress a lot, and I really do think that, yeah, we're starting noticing him a lot more. He's now worth 3.4 million. We've got him on the 5-year contract. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the coming season kind of how he just develops really and where we go with him. So now we're looking at the man from Cameroon, and that is Domani Fahey. He had a +10 last season. He played 35 games and had an average rating of 7.8, so he was just solid, very consistent player. Not bad physical stats. He had good development and good development overall in terms of technical as well. Good marking, progress, standing tackle, slide tackle. He was worth 4.1 million and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look after the season, behind closed doors, how he now is doing. And here he is. He has gone up by 4. His hair's slightly changed. It's yeah, a little bit longer now. His boots have also changed as well a bit. He's played 28 games and an average rating of 6.6%. Looking at his stats, his physical, no big changes there. Technical, very nice changes there. Turning into a very solid defender. Again, the slide tackle, stand tackle, marking, they're the ones that stand out. Great ball control as well, and heading accuracy, which is good. So I think he's just going to slot very nicely again into the team for the coming season, and he's just going to do the job he always has done. He's now worth 11 million, which is a lot of money for a defender, and he's on a 3-year contract. So next up, we got Edson Reese, of course, the Brazilian centre-back. And this is how he looked last season. So he had a +12 overall, finishing on 69, which is absolutely awesome. He played 32 games and had an average rating of 7.7, so very, very well indeed. Looking at his stats then, and he's got pretty good physical stats. You know, for a defender, especially, very good, and I know he's got good strength as well. And looking at his technical, I mean, you wouldn't expect any of those to stand out as being absolutely incredible, but of course we use the token, like it says there, +19, because we use a token to increase his heading accuracy, and that's because I think he's our tallest defender at 6'3", and we also gave him the power header trait to make him a bit more of a bull when he heads the ball. He was worth 1.6 million at the end of the season, and he was on a 4-year contract. Let's have a look over the last 12 months how he's got on. And here he is, and so he's a 73, so he's a +4 from what he was at the end of last season. Looking at his appearance then, not a great deal of change. It's just his facial hair. He's decided to grow it up a little bit, opposed to just having the kind of the goatee and the moustache. He looks a little bit cooler. He's also got a different set of boots on, very fitting to the Exeter City colours. He's played 35 games, an average rating is 6.8, so again, a lot of games. But that's expected because he is very solid. Looking at his stats, not too much in the way of development when it comes to his physical stats there. When it comes to the technical, again, not a great deal, but some pretty effective ones in places that you'd want. The heading accuracy up by 5, so into the 80s now, which is good. Short passing, 69, that's up 11. But the slide tackle and the stand tackle, they're the ones we want, and they're the ones that have gone up a lot. So yeah, all in all, a pretty decent year from him. I mean, +4, it's not amazing, not the best, we know that. Probably one of the lower ones in terms of development, but yeah, not bad at all for Reese. He's now worth 6.5 million, so that's gone up a lot, and of course he's got the 3-year contract. But yeah, he's a bull, a bit of a bull, like the trait, a power header. He serves a purpose, and in the middle of the park, he does a fantastic job. So now we're looking at the lad from Sweden then, Jan Berglund, and we got him kind of early on into the season. And he was a very, very good signing. I had very, very high hopes for him, to be honest. He ended up finishing on a 67, so only a +2. But like I said, we got him kind of early-ish, not too early. He ended up playing 23 games and had a pretty respectable rating of 7.2 over those 23 games. Looking at his stats, I mean, the physical stats, they didn't stand out as being anything amazing, and not too much in the way of development. The technical stats were a bit better. Starting out, he had very good dribbling and ball control, and everything else, a lot of yellows there, which isn't bad at all. And yeah, I mean, he has a lot of potential. He had a lot of potential when we used him. It was kind of in flashes again. Like, he wasn't as good as I thought in a lot of the games, to be honest. but definitely a lot of potential there. Let's have a look over the last 12 months, see if he's kind of shone above anyone else. And this is how he looks. Now, the first thing you may notice is that he's now a centre midfielder. Because he's played so many games as centre midfielder, we changed it over because there's no point keeping his cam as his primary, because it just doesn't fit into our formation. So he's a centre midfielder now, a +5 for the season, so not too bad at all. 72, still maybe not as high as I was expecting for him, really. In terms of appearance, a different set of boots and a slightly different hairstyle there. He's played 31 games and a very nice 7.1 average rating. So looking at the stats, and not bad, +4 on the acceleration, +4 on the sprint speed, agility +3. He's got good agility, to be honest. But again, his physical stats aren't the ones that you're that focused on when it comes to a midfielder. Now, this is where he really stands out. His technical has come on a long way. Ball control is fantastic, and the ball control, crossing and dribbling was good anyway. But the dribbling has gone up by 10, so it's 85, which is fantastic. His finishing +10 as well, but that's not really essential. Heading accuracy is very good, long passing good. So he is starting, to fill the role of a midfielder. I still don't know quite what we can call him. Looking at his kind of marking and things and his stand up, he's not really a defensive midfielder. I know he's naturally a centre attacking midfielder, but I think Luna just he outpips him quite a bit when it comes to the attacking role. So I'm just, we're kind of see how he gets on. Let me know, if you guys think he's a really awesome player. But yeah, maybe not kind of lived up to the high expectations that I perhaps had at the moment. But of course, he's still very, very young. He is worth 4.5 million, so it's gone up by a fair amount on the 4-year contract there. But yeah, a good season ahead, hopefully, for him. And coming to the last player then, and that is Igor Gaj from Croatia. Of course, we brought him in to replace Stepanak a fair bit into the season, to be honest, because Stepanak didn't really have a role. He had a +3 at the end of the last season. He only played 8 games. He played well in those 8 games. He had that steaming run, actually, his first ever goal, where he just come on and he just smashed the defence. No one could get near him and scored a very nice goal. Very, very, well, not impressive weak foot, but decent skill moves. But the thing that stood out for Gaj, again, was the physical attributes, and we can see that the physical attributes there were very nice indeed. The technical, nothing really stands out as being amazing, especially his finishing. His finishing, it went up by 8 by the end of the last season, but still at 54, not good at all. Good ball control and dribbling. He was worth 675,000, and he was on a 3-year contract. Let's have a look, 12 months down the line, how he's doing. And here he is then. So he's gone up by +5. He's now a 67. Not too much in the way of change in appearance. His hair's slightly different, but still very recognisable. He's had 13 games, so still not a large amount of games, but considering, to be honest, we got Gonzalo and Hendricks, it is going to be very difficult to compete with them. And maybe we might look at, transferring Gaj to a winger, I don't know. Haven't quite put my finger on really what we're going to do with him, but we do probably need a third striker as backup, and he's making good progress. Looking at his stats, and we know he's got good physical stats, not too much in the way of changing there. Nothing that is you think, wow, it's going to make him an amazing player. The technical stats, on the other hand, a lot of improvement here. The ball control up by 8, dribbling up by 9, which is really, really good for a striker. Again, he's got really good free kick accuracy. The finishing shocking at 58. Good at short passing, good long shots, good volleys and curves. So he's got a lot of attributes that you would like to see in a striker, but the main one that makes a striker really is the finishing. So yeah, but I guess that will come, and we can train that. Maybe quite a few sessions in with Derek will do that. So he's now worth 1.5 million, and he's on a 3-year contract. So yeah, he's a good player. Looking forward to how he gets on in the next 12 months. So before we have a look at how we got on as a team in the last 12 months, of course behind closed doors, a few little stats here, and the top goal scorer, that man Abbas. And you know what, I'm not surprised at all. And to be honest, I did sim pretty much most of the games, because I thought originally the plan was that I was actually going to be playing a lot of the games, but I thought, this series has actually taken off quite a lot more, and it's nice to see I've got some pretty loyal guys watching it. And I thought, well, you know what, I'll just kind of get through this as quick as possible, so I can release the new season a lot quicker. So Abbas scoring 21 goals, which is fantastic. We can see Gonzalo down there scoring 16, so not as good as the season before when he scored 24, but still, not bad at all. Hendricks, I'm hoping Hendricks is on here somewhere. No, Hendricks isn't. Okay, so a little bit disappointing in that, but well, we got 2 of our players, and we got Abbas getting the golden boot, to be fair, is good enough. when it comes to the assists, now this was a surprise when I looked. Edwards, the young Australian, has 14 assists, and he's kind of come out of nowhere because last season he didn't really have any assists. He was injured a fair amount, to be honest, but 14 assists is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to using him going into the new season. But also we can see coming in at 7th is Torres. So Joseph Torres there. So very impressive. Let's have a little look down. We've also got Jacobs, the young Belgian, on 8 assists. And that's where it ends. So, you know, 3 players in the top 25. That's pretty good, to be honest. The clean sheets, no surprises really. I don't think we're ever going to win the clean sheets one. But for still doing very well, he had 10 clean sheets. And to be honest, I thought when Walsh came in that, there he is, he's sitting on 19th. I thought that Walsh would probably be the #1 goalkeeper. But for still, he just seems to be getting better and better. And he's going to be our #1 goalkeeper going into the new season. Unless, you know, he really starts to disappoint, but I think he's starting to grow into that potential that we saw in him, so it's good that we've stuck with him. So here we are then, coming to the final part of this introduction, seeing how we actually did in the EFL League One, and we won it, guys. 46 game played, we won 29, drew 15, and lost 2. Goals for 114, goals against 70, and we actually breached the 100. We got 102, so we got 3 points more than last season, and we're in a league above. And yeah, sorry for the guys. It may be a little bit disappointed that we've actually skipped the EFL League One. The intention was always, if we didn't get promoted, then we would do it. But the more I started to play it, you know, the more we progressed, I started to realise that actually these players are going to become very, very good, very quick. And the thing I didn't want to do the next season. So this season coming up now, in the EFL League One, if we had all these awesome players and then we're winning games like 4 or 5-0, because it's not much fun for me to play it. It's not much fun to watch. You know, oh, we won another one. Oh, great. Awesome. It's good to have that challenge, you know. And there may be a way we can put it on the ultimate difficulty. And let me guys know what you think. I won't do it for the Championship, but when we get in the Premier League, I'm thinking we might put it up to ultimate. Let me know what you think. I will give it a try run because I played a little bit on Ultimate Team, and I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit ridiculous. Like, the gap between Legendary and Ultimate is insane. Well, when you play the Ultimate Team, like, you literally can't get the ball of them, and I think they can shoot from anywhere and score. But, you know, if it makes it a little bit more interesting, then we'll give it a go. Now, the only other bit of important news, really, for the closed season was that we once again won the Checkatrade Trophy. We beat Blackburn Rovers 1-0, so 2 years in a row. That is pretty awesome. So that's about it really for this introduction episode, guys. So the next episode will be episode 1 of season 2. So we are going to be in the Championship, and it's going to be day 1 of going into the Championship, which of course means the transfer window is going to be open. But you know, the main reason I kind of did this introduction this way is because looking at the polls and the comments, a lot of you were saying you'd kind of like to see more of the player development, and hopefully you've seen that now. You know, we've compared them to how they finished the last aired season, and then obviously the 12 months we compared them, and you know, they're not going to change now. So from day 1, the way they looked, the way we just saw them, that's how they're going to look going into the new season. Okay, so it just means that we don't have to kind of go over the players then. We've also had a nice summary of how the last 12 months went that was behind closed doors, so we know that we won it, we know that we're going into the Championship. So there is a couple of polls on this video, guys, and it's just going into the new season, there might be some key decisions that need to be made. And if you guys give me a heads up in the polls, then I kind of know, right, we can either transfer list this player or not transfer this player. We can start training this player with Derek and whatnot, because of course, start next season, guys, it all kicks off again. All the members of staff will start training everyone. If you don't know, if you're new to the series or whatever, and you don't know who the members of staff are, go back. I'd really go into detail, so I'm not really going to cover that anymore, because you can always just go back and have a look and be like, right, cool. That's what Derek does, that's what Simon does and whatnot. But yeah, a lot to think about there. Hopefully this has got you psyched up for the new season ahead. Now, I did say in episode 15 of the first series, if I get 60 likes, I will release it very quick. I'll release this one now, but still I'm going to stick to my time frame. So if I get 60 likes in the previous video, I will release it probably, well, within the next 2, 3, 4 days or so. You may be able to notice my voice isn't doing too well. I had just covered for a bit of a cold. Alright, so it might sound a little bit strange. Hope it's not too bad, but I kind of wanted to get this one out there to get you guys psyched for the new season. Other than that, any feedback, any comments at all, anything you'd like to mention, put them in the comment section below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.